So I decided to do some keto diet, and I decided to do at least for 1 year and give you some nice perspective. But anyway, the point of this video is to check if actually you can eat some kind of more interesting stuff apart of meat and salads, which normally are keto things. So I decided to test if I can eat high quality chocolate, like 85% chocolate, simply because it doesn't have much sugar. In fact, good quality chocolate like 85 or more percent of cocoa actually had only about 10-12 gram sugar per 100 gram, which is next to nothing. And same apply for the peanuts as well. Peanuts have about 10 or 11 grams of carbohydrate per 100, and actually half of that is sugar. The rest is fiber, which doesn't really count as a carb on keto. So I decided to test my ketone levels. So I had about 60 grams of chocolate and about 150 grams of peanuts with my meal together. So I decided to test my ketone levels a few times after that, 2 hours apart, so I can give you a conclusion if that's good or bad. So here is my experiment. Of course, I normally eat keto, so I started with keto meals, but I'm doing that anyway. And I decided just on the previous day to take a measurement of my ketone level. Actually, that's about 12, even 8 hours before the real experiment, just to confirm that my ketones levels are within the range and limit, and I'm in actual ketosis, because I'm not actually checking that every day. But now I decided to taste it like 8 hours before, and as you can see, I'm in somewhere in the middle of the scale, which of course means I'm into ketosis, not very deep, but that's not a problem, because I'm kind of looking for a change of that level after I eat chocolates and peanuts, and I'm happy with this level. I mean, my previous experiments show at least you show some kind of coloring of the second box on the strip here. This means you're totally into ketosis and your body doesn't produce any insulin, which is exactly what we're looking for when we're into ketosis. Anyway, 8 hours after that, which is end of the working day, 5 p.m., I'm measuring my ketone levels again, just to confirm that before I actually have my meal now, just in a few minutes, I'm still at relatively same level. And what we can see here, more or less, I'm again in the middle of the scale. So this is same level as before, and it's not negative, which is good. And I'm safe to start the experiment. And the experiment basically will be eating some steaks, some meat, some salads, and also 60 grams of chocolates and about 150 grams of roasted peanuts. And let's see. So that's my food preparation. Basically 2 chicken steaks, 2 sausages, some ham. Now this is processed meat, but it doesn't have any carbs. And here is the improvement. Shows 0.5 per 100, which is nothing. This is the sausages. They also have 0.5, which is also nothing. This is some fresh salad with lemon juice and salt and olive oil. And this one is cheddar cheese. Cheddar cheese obviously doesn't have any carbs. As you can see, 0.1, which is nothing. And here's the chocolate, 85% cocoa chocolate, which have 12 grams of sugar per 100. And of course, I'm eating only half of that. So effectively, I take only about 6 grams of sugar of that, but also a lot of fat, which actually slow down the process of dissolving the sugar. And 6 grams of sugar is nothing. So as you can see, peanuts, they have 11 grams of carbohydrates, of which only 5 sugar. So that's additional 7 or 8 grams. So 7 plus 6, that's about 12-13 grams of sugar in total of all this stuff. So this is the final meal. Of course, I had my final meal. After that, I had this 60 grams of chocolate and I had the 150 grams of peanuts. And 4 hours later, 9:30 p.m., I decided to do the first actual test after the meal. So effectively, this is the moment of truth. And if I had any sugar above 20-30 grams, the color of the strip should be exactly like the negative you see on the left, but in this case it's still in the middle of the scale, which means there is absolutely no effect, or the effect is not visible. So I'm still into ketosis, which means these chocolates and these peanuts, they didn't affect my ketosis at all. So first impression is really cool. So next day morning, I decided to do travel and do some work, which I had to do anyway. So I spent all the day outside, didn't have any time and any desire to eat, which of course is basically 1 meal a day. And I get back home about 5 p.m. So I decided to cook that, what you see now. and just have normal regular meal, this time without any chocolates and without any peanuts, and to measure, of course, my ketones again. Just this is the final test and final result, and the result, as you can see, is as expected, somewhere in the middle of the scale, which is exactly same as before, exactly same as the first, second and third test. And basically, as a conclusion, there is actually zero movement of the ketones. Ketones are exactly the same, so chocolate and peanuts did not really affect the ketosis, but of course the chocolate should be quality one, like 85% in my case, even more cocoa content if you're a fan of it. And of course the quantity of those foods should be relatively low. I mean, I guess if you eat the whole chocolate it may be some kind of effect, because 12 grams of sugar is more than 6, which is half of the chocolate. And basically that's it. I mean, the whole idea is just to make your keto experience a little bit more fun and a little bit more pleasant, which those foods actually do for me. So that's it. Stay around for more experiments. I will see you very soon with more results of the keto diet and more experiments. See ya.